I should, yeah, I'm back. Okay, cool, I'm back. Sorry, it just took a second. And I'm back. Woo! Yep, thank you. Obviously it decided the birch there is a no-go, but I like it how it is, just because it looks technically like it could be there. I mean, you could even add like that a little bit. Or you would put it down and then you'd go down. Maybe I should do that, actually. Like that along that line, and then you'd have the one there, and yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I have enough. Sorry. For that. It feels natural. Ugh. So I could just go in here like this. And I grabbed more than I needed, but like that. And then with this one, actually you could completely go underneath that one. It's only once you go here, I think, that you have issues, yeah. But then it feels relatively natural. It looks kind of like it would be like that. A little bit. It's not perfect, but you know, I mean, maybe add a little carpet. Actually, no carpet, but if you could actually add carpet there and it would, like, not impede you, that'd be nice. But, you know, like, you can't, so oh well. Oh, I forgot to gather the birch. I'll probably use a building with birch, too. I mean, I definitely will use it somewhat. Like, if you want to give somebody a room that's, like, super crazy, or looks really silly, or not silly, it's just got, like, that kind of disco-y kind of almost vibe. You can use this to, kind of just look like there's a thingy. A zebra print rug. Especially if you mix it with gold and you mix it with purples. It comes off looking really flashy, which is kind of nice. If I'm being honest. I'm not specifically doing that right now, but I mean, the wood itself can be nice for a pillar for a different... what am I gonna do this one with? Maybe I'll do some of this. Let me take it like... Okay, I should go kill those zombies. The zomboos, the zombaloonies, the zombadudes, the doobie-doms, the zippity-doo-dah, dippity-doo, flippity-floppy. I mean, look at all that. And there was even a carrot. Alright. This could clear out though. Oh, there's adults, but I can't really... Oh, I could absolutely do something about that. That's right, I click on the spot, I'm like, okay, click. And there's like, nope, you didn't click on the spot. It's like, but I did. Oh well. Collecting the food. And it only very unethical, but you know, I mean, it's okay. But the chickens care about how ethically you're killing them. They're gonna get killed anyway. In this game specifically. I mean, as I said, they should, if they don't want, I wish they would add more food sources. And beyond that, just maybe different things do different things. It could be nice. Alright, so what am I thinking here? Oh wait, yeah, this could be another building back here. Oh, that's right, I was doing though. No, I wasn't. I was doing... I don't remember. Maybe I was doing that. And then these could be like this. Like that. And then you go up here, that would be the top of that one. And then instead of what is currently there, maybe stripped birch. Although it feels very wooden. But I mean, it could still work out. Sorry. Alright, I'm gonna put this in through this. Honestly, those guys, the chainmail, the iron armor, and the gold armor is why I keep going down and killing them. Because, I mean... yeah. Alright, the quartz cook actually? Yes, they did. Cool. Cool. Like so. I swear, I click on that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to sleep, but I can't. And then it would actually be like that, I think, potentially, or something else because it's just the entrance area. But I actually kind of like the idea of having a building, especially since this one will be looking so... it is very pretty, but maybe instead, no. One more out. Be like here. Yeah, and then that'll be a, let me do this like this instead. And this could instead be something like andesite, but then you go through like this. And you'd have this just like red line back. I don't know, I kind of like it. And then you can even add in like a little bit of just potentially decorations even, I think. Like so. Like that. And then you could add in what do I want to do there? I mean, I would do this. Like, I need to gather a lot more, which means I might have to make a gold farm, but I could do that like that. I don't really want to make a gold farm, but the amount of gold necessary is just oof. Oof. And then I would add, let me think, what else would I do with the floor there? That's chicken. What else have I got? I could use these. And then I'd have to make something choice-wise for the middle. Not this one. This one. And then you go like that. Like that. And like that. And then something in the middle. Something pretty in the middle. I mean, I could do coal, but I don't really want to do coal. What do we got? I mean, this does look unique. How does this look? So it doesn't really look like regular dirt in its own way. It looks quite nice. Interestingly enough. You know, that feels a little bit too detailed. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry. I gotta think. It looks stylistically really nice, honestly. I just gotta decide, like, what would I even do? What would that middle one be? What would I want to do? I would say like a block of gold, but that seems like a little excessive. Maybe add the amethyst. What do you think? Amethyst, maybe? I can gather amethyst blocks. That's not a problem. I could do that. That could look really nice. Greetings. That could be good though. I could like do a an amethyst crystal in the middle of each of them, and that would be unique. It wouldn't be the same as I can't have it be the same as this building because that would look very strange, but that already solved a little bit by having the red carpet down the middle. And you could do the same on the opposite side where you'd have not there. You'd go here, right? Yeah, just one out. This is 1, 2, 3, so this would be here. Like this. 3, and then go out like that. 3, and that'll be like that. Actually, I think that's pretty perfect because then the next. Am I carrying any? No, I'm not carrying it. So it goes around like that, so it actually fits really well. I suppose then the question would be the opposite side? I'm trying not to cough. I'm sorry. Um, all right. What do you think? Yeah, and this will go here, like that. That could actually be good, because you walk in and you have like this super fancy entrance. And you feel fancy. Alright, But then obviously you'll have to do the opposite side as well. Eventually. You know, since I do have some of this, I can just show... So this will be like this across. And this is why I'm probably just going to need to go to a biome specifically for this, but it effectively looks really nice as a road. See, I think it's 3 and in the middle. Let me think. What was the other color I needed to use? I don't have it, I don't think. Let me just... Can't sleep yet. Do I have sand down here? I don't think I do. Nope. I'll have to go up top. All right. Sorry. Or I could do... I guess the question is, should I do yellow or should I do white? Actually, I feel like white would look better, so... Just grab a little bit more of this. Again, to just get my vibe across a little. Alright, but basically you'd have the middle of the road. I mean, obviously you got the thingy, right? There. And then you'd had... Yeah, I don't have enough, but I could do the one side all the way and then the other side once. Oh, I guess I do have enough. But like that. And then you have to go like here. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, because I honestly, I wish that you could have, like, more, but it works. And it'll just be nice rows like that. And I might add, like, other colors. Sorry. Sorry. To make it a little bit more smooth or whatever, but I like the color of the, like this. And then you'd move out 1, 2, 3, I think, and then the next ones would be here. Honestly, I like the diorite because it looks like it is painted on. And so you can see like some of the road underneath. Like that. Specifically the polish. I mean, the regular would look okay too, but I don't know. The polish just feels like it's part of the road a little bit more. It's got that little edge. But yeah, that'll be what's in between the buildings. Here, and then you'll get farther out. You'll get some cracked. It'll be a little bit grayer, probably about here-ish road-wise. And then you'll have it be a little bit more like with stone brick and stuff. About maybe here. And then you'd have it just kind of like fully run down about here. Kind of maybe, or maybe farther out for each type of road, but the idea would be that it would be sectioned off a little bit. So maybe instead, but like 2 streets maybe would be, you know, building wise is where it's hard to figure, but like maybe 2 to 3 streets is like that perfect pristine area, especially like right around the cliff, both ways. But then you'd get out, so maybe like if we figure 2 to 3 streets, this would be 1 street. Actually, it'd be about 2 streets would be here, and then 3 streets would be about to here. So, yeah, this is where you'd, and then you'd slowly go out even more. Just look. You'd have the pristine area at the most central area. It'll also have lighting and stuff potentially. Down these side roads, not necessarily. They'll still be like more beat up, because who's gonna care about a little side alley kind of thing? Kind of thing. And then also, building wise, I do think that this is gonna be as far as the buildings are gonna go. Maybe one more building here just to really finish it off. Yeah, and then you'd have back here, if I have the room behind the building, so you'd have like this little potentially slum area. So this would definitely not have that nice look to it, but it'd be much more but I haven't decided there yet. But ideally I don't want to go too and that's probably why I'm not gonna do another building here. It's just gonna be like a little, there might be just like a nice little brick wall, and then behind it is the but because I need, these buildings are pretty big, and then yeah, I wouldn't have room for a road, which is why I'm thinking I'm just gonna maybe have a little wall. A little wall. Let me see if I can't figure how far it would need to go. Let me see if I can even do it. I need 12. I was gonna do stairs, but I'm not gonna do stairs right now. I'm just literally gonna figure this out. Because if we figure this one is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, let's just do 15 forward potentially. Because it'll be between 15 and 16 blocks. So in between these. So if we do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, and then you'd have one, yeah, you'd want a little brick wall here, I think. Or potentially even just these buildings maybe aren't as nice. I mean, this does look nice, but maybe they're a little bit less crumbly, like a little more crumbly kind of thing. Because this will be the wall. I don't have any deep slate on me, but this will be a deep slate wall all the way across and up. And I will clear out more on the side here, for example, because I don't want to actually be able to go up this way. You'd have to go up like either a water elevator within a station that I'm going to probably make, or within the rebel base that I'm going to build underneath everything. Is this way? Yeah. Which is why you've got some of this here being cleared out. I'll be down to this row down here. It'll be great. I do need some spruce though, but other than that, you could see it is going to be underground, but potentially entrances. But that's the question. Do we make it look nice on this side, or because I feel like it would still look nice because these guys would want to look nice because it's connected to them, but it might not look as nice because they don't really care all that much. I don't know. What do you want? What do you think? I'm just saying, like, ideally, you make everything look nice. All right, it's still gonna be a little. I meant more like along the lines of. Actually, I kind of like the idea of having that like that, and then you could have one here like this. I mean, the sides will still be kind of beat up anyway. I mean, you can see that here, but I was just saying, I'm trying to decide because I feel like, I feel like it would depend entirely, because there will be lots of shiny buildings. I mean, look at the front. Not this. This is the hidden sides that you can't really see. But the front, they are pretty, they will be kind of shiny, yes. They'll have lots of brighter colors, lots of, I'm just trying to decide, will the area behind them with the wall actually look nicer? And my answer I'm kind of coming up with is no, it didn't. But basically they'd be here, and then you could have like a little, potentially a wall, maybe another brick. Like about, we'll say they'd have a wall here. And then you could have like little beat up buildings in the back that maybe you could see, maybe you can't. Don't know. Decide. I haven't decided yet. But I think it would be relatively cool to have some definitely more rundown buildings behind, but they'd still probably look nice. I do agree there. Just because of the part of town they're in. And sure, you might be able to look over at the Slim Town, or maybe the Slim Town is just covered in general, but Or maybe that people don't really have a... let me see. Or would I want this to go a little bit further back? That could work too. Maybe about here. Then people could take like a road pretty much right over these guys. And there's their rebel base. Will be right out into the road. But the road could come from over here maybe. And it could look good. You could even add in like, what do I want to do? Maybe you'd have like this. And it would just be like this little area back here kind of thing. It would look decent as long as you're on the right side. Which I kind of like the idea of. Like you go the wrong side of the hiding some of the little, and then you'd even potentially have a little road like in between that as well. Those areas as well. But basically you'd have maybe so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'd have it like that. Pretty high. Kinda. And you'd have these this little wood kind of thing. Just to look interesting. Or maybe you'd use, no, maybe not birch. I'm gonna use birch like that either way eventually. So it's fine, but maybe instead I do need to switch out the chickens. All right. That starts figuring itself out. Maybe instead, do I have any? I thought I did. Did I? Oh wait, no, I used it up top. That's why I don't have any. I need to get more, but that'll be easy enough. But basically the idea would potentially be, I guess in this case, because I don't have any. I mean, I'd have to grow some, but that's not so bad. So do I want to... I need to have it close like that. Potentially. I don't know, that could be good. Maybe not. Maybe it will be just glass, but like... on the back, it could actually be really good to have like these like just shutters kind of thing, where it's like you close the shutters and you just ignore that that exists for the back buildings. So it's like fancy but cheap. It's cheap because you have to look down on the slums, but it makes it look like you can go, I live in the middle of downtown. Ish. Like that kind of vibe. We're gonna put these here. I kind of like that as an idea because I feel like that would work really, really, really well. Alright, I only need one. Forgot to grab what I wanted. I can go put this away. So it'd just be like, yeah, it's like you're paying less. It's still maybe a more premium price than, say, living out in not suburbs, definitely, but the outer city, maybe. Yeah, let me go put that away. Or up top. But it could be pretty legit, just a great way to have where it's like, yeah, we live in the middle of a wasteland kind of thing even. Because that's something I'll probably do as well, is that outside of like the rivers and stuff, you'll have like, I don't know how far I'd want to go. Definitely want to go kind of far though. Because, especially if we're going to make the city a little bit more, or if I'm going to make the city a little bit more, oh wait, there's a guy I need. Hey, guy! I've been needing you. But, if the idea is meant to be that it's kind of just, like, desolate, right? Outside of this city, especially. You gave me one. I think I'd go out to the mountain there and not be just nice city kind of thing out that way. Potentially, or maybe it just like the city would be blocked here. So people could see this nice piece of land. Kind of thing without actually being like a unique kind of structure kind of thing. But then the farther out you go that way, yeah, I see you. But only like maybe this mountain. All the other mountains I might have to bulldoze, which would not be fun. Or just build into as mining towns. But definitely out that way, I think. I'd want to, I'd want to start adding like more desert. Can you just eat? Though, I think I'd also be trying to remember which way is back to my main base. Is that way? No. No. This is the way back to my base. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I needed from you right now. But basically the idea would be that... Did he just eat again? Thank you. But it slowly becomes like maybe sandier, more, or even lava-esque kind of thing, just to really lean into the whole apocalyptic, potentially. Once you leave the city. I've given myself too many things to build. But let me quickly just go deal with the, that area I haven't been working on. Well, I have been working on, which is that you won't be able to see, yeah. This is just that. Oh no, I messed up. I didn't mean to do that there. But ironically, this should ensure this is not necessary. Like so. So you look in and it just kind of looks kind of haunted. Kind of like so. You can't really see it. Maybe I'd add like something else, but just kind of hide that away a little bit like that. And then you come in here and you'd walk in and there is a light and it's just the way into the rebels. So more specifically, you'd be going this way. It wouldn't be going up. That'll be removed. Eventually, it just not yet. I'm still putting off what I meant to do. By the way, what I'm doing. I do have it actually on me. I somehow managed to dilly-dally. Till it was dark. I wasn't even trying to, I just was like, yeah. But I mean, I do feel kind of like that's what I want to do. Alrighty. What am I playing tomorrow, by the way? I am curious. Rock of the Bed, Kingdoms of Tears, or more Java. I should probably finish it myself too. Okay, so Rock of the Bed or Java. More of this. Alright. Alrighty, that's fine. That sounds good. Let me go over here. Let me go start growing this guy. Ow. Well, it wasn't what I was intending, but it did what it did the job. Yeah. I mean, it just decides what village I'm working on, doesn't it? This ridiculously massive project I really shouldn't have started. Or the ridiculously massive project I started over my... Alright. But I do not need too much of it. I mean, I do need it too, but... Let me quickly go over here. Let me pick that up. How much did I end up with? Yeah, even though I'm going to be using it, I'm going to be getting more trees anyway, so I'm just going to... I mean, that's why I do this, the way I do it, you know? To be like, woo. It'll refill my poor... It'll refill my poor, bone meal amounts a little bit. Because I'm definitely not doing this the most efficient way. Let me go over this way. Alright, Alright. What I was thinking, now that I have this, is... We'll actually just go like basically up to there, and then we'll go there. I think that would actually be pretty good for a size of a wall too. Like that. I think it looks interesting. Maybe I should switch them. Or maybe I should turn these into walls. That could work. Let's turn these into walls. But, as far as people getting into the, I haven't decided that one yet. Or to the slummy area. The slums. But probably there'll be a way that's just like... I'll eventually decide. Also, I should add some pink wood too, maybe. So instead of doing the whole thing, I'm just going to do this like this. So that we can see, I think like that. Again, just because it'll look okay like this. So you can see kind of how it would look. Yeah, I like that. And then let me go upstairs a second. Let me go upstairs and grab some cherry wood so I can show you what I'm thinking. And I mean, this is kind of expensive if you think about it for just, I don't know. A fence or wall, but I like I said, I would want it to be something that would look nice, I think. For those who are walking up to the buildings, even though it would be, like I said, it would be the cheaper, expensive area. You know, we're just gonna turn these into sticks. It's like this, and like, yeah. Alright, but yeah, no, I mean, as I was saying earlier, I do wish they'd add, like I said, farming stuff. Or maybe you have to, like, cultivate a wild crop into a crop. Unless you find a village. Again, I just think that'd be great to be kind of... Especially for places where it's like if you don't find a village quickly. I know villages are easy to find, but just to do like an alternative. That would be neat. That isn't just hunt zombies. Especially since not every crop drops via zombie. Alright. So this would be like this. Let me see if I can't just... Yeah. And it would be over like that. But you can kind of see it looks... It weirdly makes it look like friendly almost. Look at that. It's a friendly esque kind of thing. It really does look nice when you do it like that. Weirdly. I don't know why. Yeah, that's true. Buffs from food would be cool. They're not going to do that, but... I mean, the idea that you could cultivate that would be cool. As well. Like, maybe if you, and that could be, like, why you'd want to find, like, the wild crop instead of just going for a village, too. Like, the wild crop, maybe you can, like, a wild carrot, maybe you can cultivate into something, like, that if you put it into soup will give you the night vision effect. Or just food in general. That'd be cool. And maybe they could also make it like a chicken. Yeah, you can get a whole chicken, but maybe the whole chicken can be split into pieces, and then that is the feeding about. I'm gonna be honest, if you were to eat this in real life, it'd be heavy. The amount. You're not gonna heal hearts. And I don't mean that just because, like... Yeah, wild stuff, exactly. And those kinds of things would actually be more worth it to go look for than, like I said, trims. The average player is a single-player world user, and they're not looking for those fancy trims or even the pots. Heck, the only reason I even went looking for pots on my Bedrock world, or the shards, is because I'm building a desert village and it kind of looks like it would work well. But even then, I'm not going that far and doing that much. It's mostly just like, well, to do something different. But especially since you can't hold anything in the pots. Like, why would I want a pot that is useless? Honestly, I feel like what they should have done is something like it can hold two, it could be like a water bucket, but like it holds 2 buckets of water. Kind of thing. I think that would have been cool if they done that with a pot. And then maybe if you break the pot, it's like vertical though, you know? So, or it could even just hold 1 bucket of water, but it's more annoying to carry around with you because they don't stack. So you're still going to want to get your iron buckets eventually. But for like a starter, like when you're going around and you're like, I would like the ability to get water so I can start growing crops. I'd like to be able to move my crops over away from the ocean or whatever. Then you could take the pot and then you could, maybe you have to like put it in the water and then break it and carry it, and then have to put it down and break it with a pickaxe or something. Because they look like water jugs, I'm going to be totally honest. Like, that was my first thought when I saw them. I was like, ooh, that looks kind of like, I mean, it looks like you could put a plant in it as well, but it heavily reminded me, like if you're going to transport water, the kind of jug that you might use. You know? And then that would work great with a farming update, because maybe then... Because, I mean, this is the thing. So they want the early game to go further, right? So I'm kind of left with, like, then wouldn't you want people to start building their own farms faster? Which is harder without iron? Kind of thing? Logically? The only thing I can come up with is, no, they want people to use redstone farms. And it's like, but that's just me AFKing. And why would I want that? Well, that's fun. Heck, maybe they could have it be where, like, different trees can be... Like, I'm not going all the way to, like, modded land, right? Let's leave this still in vanilla for now, right? But a wooden water bucket could be good if they're not going to do a clay one. I mean, beyond modded, it's something that people do use. So, like, but maybe you can only use, like, a specific type of wood if they really want to go there. Like oak. Oak grows pretty much everywhere, but not everywhere. No, I'm gonna go there. I feel like some form of beginner bucket, I think, would have made sense if they want to extend. Yeah. If they want to extend the early game, that's where I would go with it. It's like start encouraging things like, not just the exploration, but clearly it's like they don't want you to just be like at the end game, quote unquote. So give other things, like maybe instead of people going and looking for iron, they can just get a wooden bucket or clay bucket. It'd be faster, it'd be easier. Kind of thing. I mean, and if you were to add like more of a food update, they could add like foods that are easier to find in the wild that aren't just wheat seeds, if you will. In fact, technically, I mean, if you think about it, we're already doing the foraging thing and cultivating. Like, if you're breaking these to find the wheat seeds to get wheat, right? Technically, these should be grass seeds. But then if you're planting them, they turn into wheat seeds. Meaning that you've cultivated grass, which isn't edible, into wheat, which is. So I think something like that would actually work quite well. Maybe you have... Heck, you could even tend to take the berries potentially as well and have them be cultivated into different kinds of berries that can be used in pies and the like. I don't know. I like the idea, because I kind of like the idea of if you're going to have to explore anyway, if they really want you to do that, I'm like, give me something actually worth it. Finding all my villagers is not worth it. I'll start fishing and stuff instead. Because let's be real, fishing is easier than going out the swamps. And I mean, I don't even have to be like wandering around as much. So I feel like instead, it should be things that are actually worth it to actually go out. Like, I'm not going to go out for even the villagers. Like, I'm building villages, but I'll just not care probably about the villagers themselves. I'll just build the building somewhere else instead of with the villagers. Or I'll just not use those types of villagers, because I'm not going to care enough. Maybe I'll go find a swamp, but that's about it. It's not... It's not really that, that's not going to make me travel. I'll just stick at the Iron Age. Because I could do that with villagers. And ironically, I can get more, like, enchants on them via the enchanting table if it's an iron item versus if it's a diamond item. So, like, why would I pick yeah, I mean, it really goes to there. So yeah, all I'm saying is, like, for actual wanting us to explore, I feel like it should be more worth it. That's my real answer. And not worth it like, oh look, I can show off to my friends at how fancy my outfit is, I guess. Except I don't have friends. I am alone. On my world, because I'm a single player, so obviously I won't actually get the item. It's like something for any world. Exactly. I don't like it. Honestly, I do not like the fact that they're beyond the trying to make us go and find other things. It's like I'm not sure they realize that I'm going to go here. The average individual probably relies on villagers to feel like they can explore. So the real irony of there is that people are less likely to explore. I would really go there and say that. So, like, I don't know. I know I dislike it quite a bit. Though, to be honest, I mean, that's partially because I use villagers not to get armor. Except now I have, because I didn't want them to be... Exactly, they shouldn't... The idea that to make a game... I'm going to go here. And I have corrected it myself a little bit, but in this case, I do feel like this is the case. When you look at, especially a lower quality mod, right? When they think, oh, let's make it harder, they oftentimes will go with the idea that making things harder to get, or rather adding more grind to it, obviously makes the game harder. I have seen that in some mods. I'm not saying a good modder knows not to do that, because that's not really realistic. Heck, game developer-wise, like that's... That's like, that's something that you don't do. You don't put off the people you already have for a small number of people who might come to the game if you do that. And that's where I go with the farming. Like, if they were to add things to farm and do, people are more likely to explore for those things. But the biggest reason people aren't exploring is it's like, I'm going to be honest, it's because they're not adding enough things to explore. Most people who play the game already have no reason to explore. Or even if they wanted to, they can't. Because their worlds are too small. Or they're not too small, but too big. Already. And if you're starting a new world, well, you went and saw the new biome. And it's the new. It's not like multiple new biomes. Nope, it's just one. There's not really anything else to do, and so you don't go more exploring. It's not really worth it. There's nothing else to explore. It's like, if they want people to explore, what they should do is they should add more things to explore and do. Ironically, I mean, that would be the more realistic idea. New structures or new exactly. I mean, exploring, heck, but here's the thing. Exploring for a block is still exploring for something, and it's worth it. But the thing is, like I said, it's one new block. Like, that's true. Jungles are worth it for the bamboo and melons, although that's only like once you start wanting to have a more like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't particularly care for the way the wood looks that they've added. But that's me personally. I know there's people who really do like it, and it still works for some things. I feel like it's still just too close to birch, ironically, but it's not exactly birch. And the amount you need, it's just like, yeah, I'm totally gonna spend like wait, maybe this one's only is this one 4? I don't think it is, right? No, it's not. Yeah, I'm totally gonna spend 9 bamboo for 2 blocks. Sure. That's true. Scaffolding can be useful. And I might use these just because it's like for one of the buildings. It certainly does have a bit of vibe to it, like this. But I just don't think it looks... If I'm being honest, it looks more like... Like, I'd like it if there were more of the wood like this. I think. Doesn't feel very good. Yeah, and then, I mean, yeah, you could turn it into this, like I said, it feels a little, I mean, look at that. It's almost the same color, just more texture. That's really where I kind of go with it. Like, I mean, it's okay. It's not. It's not. It's worth it to get the bamboo for the scaffolding stuff. Yeah, I do agree. It just, I don't know. And I do. I'll be honest. I do not exactly, but I kind of like the trapdoors, I guess. Gotta do this again. So you can do this for the shape. But would that be better inside or out? But But then the color's not that good with that. Like, yeah. Did I actually decide whether it be windows? Yeah. Lovely. That, I need to go like that. Yep. Maybe I could do that. That could look okay, but it'd be better than the other one down here, but then the color, it's like, I hope it looks better with the green. I think it will. But if it doesn't, I will remove it, because I don't know if I like it or not. And I know I like the pink at least, but honestly, I don't know. I don't dislike it completely. It doesn't mean that it's like, it's just, I wish they had, and I mean, I don't even know how else to put it other than I just feel like one biome is not really going to make you want to go explore. Items for customizing your own appearance a little bit is not going to make you explore. Not really. It really would have to be like multiple biomes and potentially structures to really kind of start getting into the whole, yeah, I'll go explore more. At this point, I think. And also, again, nerfing villagers so that now you've got to explore just means that I'm going to do other things. Because there's no real reason to go and explore to find the villagers. Yeah, that's true, Noosa. I mean, the thing that I find ironic is that if the villagers were left alone, it's actually a reason to explore. If you think about it. You know? After all, you want to find the new, you want to find the villagers. But then, now it's like, you don't want to have to go deal with all the trouble with the villagers, so now you're ironically not going to go explore and look for those villagers. I find it funny. I mean, that's really where I'd go with it. I don't... At this point, they're going to do it, and it's just like, I'm either going to keep playing the game or I'm not. That's the real answer. But beyond that, it's just like, it's funny. I mean, I'm just gonna kind of keep laughing at the fact that they were, for all their let me go here, their PC nonsense, they're encouraging the isms. That's true. I do think that is nice that they have added maps. Although, let's be real, that probably should have been there since the beginning. If they were gonna... And there's other things that I feel like I wish there were maps too as well, that they're just not. But, I mean, honestly, I do agree. The maps are okay. But, I mean, all I was going to say, I think the thing I find funniest is, I've said it before and I'll just keep saying it. For all their, how do I put this? I was going to say PC crap, right? And this includes things like, oh, you can't hunt sharks. What if somebody in real life decides to go hunt a shark because of it? Even though it's like... And how are they going to do that? But point being, I find it ironic that with all that, it's absolutely funny as well, that they're really going in on the whole encouragement of how do I put this? The isms, the genics, if you will, yeah, in Minecraft. Rather, let's be clear. Selective breeding of a humanoid creature so that you can get a specific race, if you will, of said creature that is basically a human. The encouragement of that in Minecraft. And shipping your villagers like especially on like multiplayer servers, is going to encourage people to do sell specific villagers for real decent prices and stuff, because, well, if you want this item, you gotta buy it somehow, kind of thing, or you gotta get it a specific way. And I mean, point being, it's quite ironic, and at this point, sadly hilarious. Their logic for how to make the game harder has exactly, villager, yep, marketing, or trading of a specific kind. Yeah, you see, starting to, you see where I'm going with it? It's like, ooh. And they can't blame a single person with a mod or anything, because this is going to be vanilla. And yeah, and like I said, obviously you're also encouraged, because you need a swamp villager, so therefore you're going to bring all your you're going to bring your normal villagers over, and you're going to consistently breed them and potentially kill them, and until you get a specific type of villager. It's like, if they believe that killing a shark in a video game is going to make people kill a shark in real life, then this clearly means that they believe that if people learn to do these things in a video game, that obviously they'll start doing them in real life as well. And it brings up the very important question of how do I even put it? Like, how does one even put that? And again, I'm going by their logic, not my own. I personally think that adding sharks is not going to get people to kill them in real life. In fact, I think you could easily just help prevent shark attacks, if you will, which do happen in real life, by teaching people about respecting the territory of sharks, and that certain sharks are violent and deadly, and other sharks aren't, but only, again, if you're in their territory. Like, they can have a tiger shark, and if you enter the tiger shark's territory, you get munched. Because they do. You gotta be careful there. Whereas maybe you can have a shark that isn't, and people can learn the difference. Right? I mean, that would make sense. As an idea. 1 second. Hello, Pixie. How are you? Anyway, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying when you look at it, from what they've done, it's just, yes, it's being, it's just quite fascinating. And I don't think it was on purpose. I'm gonna go there. I don't think they did it on purpose. Not in that way. But I do think that they, maybe that's where they should be looking at to think about why they should or shouldn't do it. Just from their own words and own beliefs and stuff. And that's really where I go with it. It's like, okay, that's. But like, if you believe this, well then, what do you believe this does? Honestly, I think somebody should ask. Should just really start asking that question. Make them squirm. I'm not like. Just because it would be quite something. Let's see. I honestly, more than anything else, I think it'd be fascinating to see. How do they explain that one? Without, coming off as, yeah. Anyway, it's not my business. I'm just gonna keep building my buildings and all that jazz. And, yeah. Potentially put villagers in harm's way. Mostly because, I mean, I wish they'd fix the AI. I'm gonna go here. If they're gonna do this, fix the AI. At least somewhat. That's where I'll go with that, I think, more than anything else. And I stop and really think, it's just like, if you're gonna go with the whole, well, it's better for exploration, then it's like, then fix their AI, somehow. Because currently their AI doesn't make this a good option. And it could even be a great option. I mean, if they're gonna do it, like, I'll go there. I'll take that. I'll even say that. But I do think that they need to, well, one, take into account what they're actually encouraging. Not just, well, it's harder, but I mean, if they really care about that kind of thing. And beyond that, yeah. Did it finish? Or is it stuck? Beyond that, just, yeah, there's all kinds of things they could do. Or fix the AI, though, yeah. Beyond anything else, just, after all, who's going to want to mess with a being, a thing, or whatever that you can't really transport? Might as well just, off them. Which sounds wrong. Sounds horrible. Sounds all the things. I know. I'm just saying. The amount of trouble, I don't feel like they're worth it. If I'm being honest. So yeah, it'd be nice if they fix the AI. Most specifically, I mean, maybe I'm going to keep saying that. I hope that they do eventually, but just to add a wrong kind. You know what, we'll do this. Yeah. I just want to see, like, if they're going to do this with the villagers, what I really want to see is, I keep getting distracted, but, what I would love to see is, like, just the ability to transport villagers like the Waystone mod. I think that would be great. Specifically because I feel like there would be a logic to it. Not that you can travel that way, but that you could at least, like, send, quote-unquote, send the villagers that way. Like, you have a central... Like, I mean, you have to create something for... You have to get a build for a village anyway, right? So maybe, like, you could build a specific type of tower and then mark that spot, tower-wise. And the tower, and they can travel to that tower. Oh, I think that they're all... That's where they'll transport to, basically, if you tell them to go to said tower. I think it'd actually be a pretty interesting way to do that. And then, obviously, I don't know how hard it would be. And that's where I'll go with, I get if they don't want to do it because it would be too difficult, but, like, I don't know, I feel like it could, in theory, be possible, right? If they, I mean, they put all this effort into this part, and clearly that wasn't easy either. That's what I'll go with. It's like, if this wasn't easy, then just easier way to transport them, and yeah. And honestly, it would let you keep exploring, if that's what they want. Because you don't have to stop and think about, like, how to transport the villagers back. You could just send them back and then you would be able to continue exploring. Potentially. Or you could even add a penalty, like, you have one... Like, if you don't make it back within, like, 3 in-game days or whatever. Maybe. Which would still be the same issue, but, like, it could work. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I guess. Yeah, feel free to disagree with me, by the way. That's totally fine. We encourage open discussion and thought here. After all. Yeah, no. And overall, though, I don't really like talking about it too much, because I know it's not a fun topic. It's quite boring. And I get that. Let me think. We go out to this far. I'm realizing I need more room. I don't have it. Woo. Alright, yeah, these guys are glitching. They're glitching like crazy, so I should go put the items that I can put away. I come back for those. But yeah. I guess what kind of updates do you guys hope that they'll considering Minecraft Live is in, like, what, 2 weeks? Not 2 weeks, about a month though? Yeah, it's about a month, yeah? What are you guys hoping they'll answer, or they'll announce? I know there's a lot of people hoping for an end update. kind of left with, I think that those people will be, sadly, not get what they're hoping for, but, I mean, that's not a reason to not hope for. That's just being unfortunately realistic about the fact that they're totally not going to do that. What are you hoping for? Them to announce. Or are you just going to say nothing? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I would either, because I don't think they're ever going to do one. If I'm being totally honest. I know there's a lot of people that are hoping they'll do one. But just looking at the reality, that the last 2 years, where everyone's been like, oh, they're going to totally do one. They haven't. I mean, they might one day, but I honestly do think that they're not going to do that now. What do you think? Is a reasonable hope / guess, I guess, more than anything else. You're right. Yeah, that's true. I know. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get. Let me think. We're gonna get one new biome or other sub-biome, probably, that introduces one new tree. Something generic, I'm thinking. This is my guess, not my one. To be clear. But something probably customizable, blah blah blah, that they were supposed to go look for that we're probably not gonna wanna. Unless you're like on a multiplayer server, and even then you might not wanna. And then the 3 mobs, one of them's gonna be blue. One of them's gonna be the one that people are being pushed to get. And one of them is going to be the least, one of them's gonna be a golem. That's what I'm thinking. And there might be like a new animal, there'll probably be a new animal type. Maybe. That is mostly useless. Unless you like want a specific like niche thing. But it's not for everybody, obviously. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be like that. In other words, 1.19 and 1.20 have told me 1.21 is gonna be probably the exact same. When you really get down to it. Oh yeah, and there'll be like one new structure that you're supposed to be excited for, but you might not be. Yeah, exactly. The new animal that's mostly useless. Exactly, yes. It is extremely common. That's been the case since, I think, I'd really go with 1.14. Because technically dolphins are useful, I think. Although I don't know if dolphins were actually a part of it before. But I'm gonna go here. It's like definitely from 1.14 onward, though, that the animals are just at best. I mean, sure, bees are useful now, but the update they were introduced in, you could only really get honey and beeswax blocks, and it wasn't really that useful. It's only now that like copper exists. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I think that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying. I think 1.14 is like the first one that really and truly, it's like it wasn't that useful, was because that was the one with the fox. That unless you're specifically doing like a chicken farm or berry farm, you're not necessarily going to care about. That's what I was saying. I kind of... Yeah, they are, but technically you can eat honey. That's why I was saying it's kind of, but not really. That's why I was saying they aren't really useful unless it's specifically for niche, like niche uses. So, like honey block is great for redstone, but that's pretty much all it really was useful for. And then you have like, and that was the bees. The one before that, like I said, that was foxes. And then the next year was the goat, I think, right? No, it wasn't the goat. Yeah, it was. Yes, it's nice honey. I think the difference is that milk gets rid of, one of them gets rid of all effects, the other one only gets rid of negative effects. I think honey only gets rid of negative effects, potentially. Or maybe that's the one that gets rid of all. I don't remember which. Actually, no. It's that, the difference is that honey is a food source. That's the one. The other difference as well. In other words, you can get rid of all your effects, but you can also eat something. That's what it is, basically. Whereas milk, even though it should fill you, doesn't. But then, like I said, I think the next animal that was added was the goat. Actually, no, technically it was the strider. The strider was the next animal added, and unless you want to traverse lava, they aren't really useful. Yeah, that's true, whereas milk, I think, doesn't it? So, yeah. Mining fatigue, which is one of the effects that should get rid of it, it doesn't. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was trying to think. So yeah, then there was the strider was the next one. And like I said, unless you were to traverse the nether, the lava oceans specifically, they're not really useful. Then the next year was the goat. And the most useful, unless you want a horn that makes a specific toot, if you will, a specific sound, the goat is kind of if I'm being honest. And yeah, you can milk goats, but it's not like it's got anything unique to the milk. You can just get cows. And you can't even do something like have it like give you both wool and milk, or even meat, which is kind of ridiculous because you can eat goat meat in real life. It actually tastes quite good, I would say. And then the next one was, you had the frog and the warden. The warden just kills you and doesn't really drop anything of use. And the frog, it's kind of useful, but only if you want a specific type of light. And that only can be gotten unless if you build a magma cube farm in the nether with them. Using the frogs to get the lights. So, again, very niche. One of them is actually kind of valuable, but at the same time it's not really. And then this here, the animal was the camel, which isn't very good unless it's your only transport form in the desert. And really only if you have you want to walk up 2 blocks, which isn't that worth it. Especially since the desert doesn't have that, really. But yeah, I think that's where I really go with it, is I expect it to be a useless mob. And like, literally useless. One block of wood that might look nice, or wood type. And they might not even add a type of wood to it. Or like a log type / anything. They might just make it an oak tree. Which will add a biome to it for the specific purpose of getting that one tree and maybe tree type. And yeah, and something that pretty much the whole thing is just like super niche. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing to be super niche specifically, but considering like half the time the niche thing is cosmetic, that's where I go, eh. It's not even like the fact that they're basically trying to get people to go to the ancient city to get mending, and it's like, yeah, I'm still not going there for that. Or really any block, I'm gonna be honest, or anything, unless I specifically get asked to do so, which I don't mind going and doing that. But I've been to an ancient city. I once built a base in an ancient city. It was interesting. Took my time and all that. But after that, it's not even... It doesn't feel the way I think it should, if it's gonna be like that. Honestly, I think that's where I'd really go with it. I think, update-wise, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, and I'd love to be proven wrong. I honestly would. After all, why would anybody want the same exact thing every year? And, you know, I mean, maybe it will be a bigger update. Maybe they'll do something with enchanting, finally. Like, update enchanting and make that better. That could be good. Although, they could have done that with this update, and they didn't. So, there's that. Hey, you... Why is it that your coloration is just, like, weird? Like, I feel like he's just, like... I'm not even sure what. Here. Are you just like stuck in the block? No. You know, I have a unique colored dog. That's how we look at this, right? I don't even know how I don't know what's really wrong with him, but he's a unique shade of dog. Yeah. Why don't you sit next to your friend? Oh, finally! Oh, was it because he was wet? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize dogs actually got wet. And turned a different color. I'm not sure why their eyes are the same color, though. That's cool. Yeah, that's an interesting... I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe because I don't, leave my dogs in the rain usually. But considering that dog has been that color even when it's not raining, I don't know. Obviously he's just very sensitive to the environment. Yeah. Other than that though, yeah, I think this is pretty good. Should be getting close to night. Oh, it's not actually. But no, I think things I'm gonna be honest, things I actually hope they'll introduce. Something that helps age copper faster would be nice. Because, I mean, that would be nice. It could be something basic, and it would actually probably be a decent way to introduce something to explore for. If they really want to go there. The things I'd love to see. A way to get renewable sand. Woo. That'd be nice. Maybe the useless mob could be a pet mob, like the axolotl. Oh yeah, that's right. The axolotl was also the same year as the goat. And the axolotl is at least a cute pet. So there's that. Although it's still kind of useless. Unless you're specifically trying to hunt things underwater. And then they're still kind of not useful because they I mean, they heal themselves and all that, but they do have... I've had issues with them and watching them die before me because I didn't kill a drowned fast enough, and they kind of paid the price. So yeah, that's where I go with it. I hope it's a pet-like mob. Like a gerbil or a mouse. I like mice. Exactly. I don't... Oh, that's what I'm saying. They aren't really... That was what they were supposed to be for, was hunting like drowns and stuff. But they are kind of weak, and they do die pretty easily. So instead they make a cute pet mob. Which is what works. That's what I was saying. If they're going to have a useless mob, at least make it a cute pet type. Like the axolotl. I was just saying, I think that worked. They're adorable. They're cute. They're kind of cuddly in Minecraft. I mean, not really, but they kind of are. And they make a good pet. So that's where I really go with it, is I think that I do believe would work out well for a pet mob. Or rather, for a useless mob. After all, let's be real. When's the last time you took your dog to go hunting skeletons and stuff? Or your cat to go fight a creeper? And be honest here. When's the last time they weren't just sitting in your house? Cute. I mean, maybe cats, but like the dog specifically. Like, maybe you'll have your cats at the creeper farm, but... Yeah. Well, let's be real. Because they're too cute. You don't want to, like, get them hurt, right? Which works. I mean, they can be used as... Hello, welcome back, Knight. We were discussing the useless mobs of Minecraft and what we think they're going to bring in. And I was just saying, I hope that the useless mob is a pet mob. I really do. Anyway, but welcome back. 'Cause I think that would be a great addition. Because who cares if it's a useless mob if it's your pet? You're not going to use the thing anyway. The mob in question is going to be probably on a cushy cushion. I'm being told how it's such a good pet. And fed treats. I mean, that's the real answer. So that's what I was going with. Is that's what I hope, is that the useless mob is a pet mob. Exactly. Like, maybe you could have a mouse kind of thing. Like, yeah, they'll be an annoying pest, but then you could put them in your house and you could have them, like, run on a little wheel or something. Actually, that'd be a good way to... Or maybe you could have, like, a snake. You could have a snake that you feed chicken. But it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of hangs out. Could be used to make the jungle more alive. And like... maybe it comes in different colors. Like maybe a corn snake. kind of thing. But no, I do think that I hope that the useless mob is a pet, just because it's like that it's not useless, because its use is being adorable and being a lovable friend. Something at least. And yeah. I mean, that's really where I go with it. I hope the new wood type is blue, just because we don't have any currently. And that would be nice to have like a blue wood type. Or green. I mean, actually, we got two useless mobs really this time. I mean, that would be fun, certainly. Like I said, it's gonna be something that's relatively useless, unless it's a niche type kind of thing, like heck, even the sniffer from the last, like they had two useless, but unless for a niche type thing, in one update, which they do. Well, yeah, well, squids aren't that useless, because squids at least can be used to get ink sacs, which you can use to make black dye. And beyond that, they, ink sacs are also used to make books and quills, which you can sell to a villager for 1 emerald. For 1. So, I mean, they have some use. That's what I would go with. That's true. But I just meant, even like drop-wise, they haven't really been useful to newer mobs, because they don't really drop anything. Not even the fantastical ones. The sniffer drops nothing. It's only useful for like it's only useful to get flowers. And it's not even that, like, the flowers aren't that amazing either, if I'm being totally honest. But that's more what I meant, was like, they don't even have a use when they die. It's a really sad thing to think about. Like, at the very least, like, their whole lives have no purpose. Like the camel, the sniffer, the let me see, what other animals are there that really kind of have, like, the fox. Unless the person who comes across them is like a very desiring of their niche services. That's really where I go with it, is it's like, it's not even the whole, like, they could have done more. It's just, or that they're useful in their life. It's the, even their death is useless. That I'm kind of left with, like, why? Like, you could at least make their death useful. Otherwise, why would somebody want to, like, go get that specific item or thing? Kind of thing. I mean, it's not, like, the worst thing ever. Let me be clear. It's not. It's just, all I was saying is, if they're gonna do it, they might as well make it a pet mob, because then it being useless is part of its charm. After all, I go back to the dog. How often do you take your dog out to go fight the zombies and the skeletons? And for your pet animal, for your pet cat specifically, not like the ones you use in the creeper farm, but for if you decide to keep a pet cat, how often do you take that cat out to do things? And how often do you have that cat just sit at home doing nothing anyway? And I mean, let's be real, most people that didn't know in advance that cats can give you gifts when they sleep with you probably were only just going, well, my cat can sleep with me. I can have a cute kitty. Which is why it works as a thing, because people will sleep with with the cat or the dog or whatever. But that's my point, is it's like, if it's a pet mob, it's excusably useless. After all, you're not gonna use it anyway. Let's be real. Just like the axolotl. How often do you use your axolotl to actually do what it was supposed to do? Which it's not terribly good at, but you know, it exists. And that's my point. No, you don't trust the AI, ever. Doggies are stupid. But that's my point. So there's no reason to... The AI is, at best, that's my point. Is that you never use the dog, see? That's my point. Is the dog became a pet. It didn't... See, and again, the one time it's like the dog got hurt and it's like, nope. Or dies, and it's like from then on, most people are like, no, I'm not gonna do that again. And that's why I'm saying a useless mob can be, a pet mob can be a useless mob. Because most people are gonna just love on the creature, and they've already learned. See? Again. That's my point. That's why I'm saying I think that if they're going to introduce a useless mob, I think they need to introduce something that's just pet-like. Maybe a hamster. Or a mouse, or even a snake, or a... But the point is, like, its use can just be something, it can give, like, some random use that's not really useful. Heck, even the sniffer. Most people are not getting sniffers because they want the plants. Let's be real. That's not what they want. They want the big old cuddly dinosaur. That's the real answer. So the fact that the sniffer is kind of useless, once you get to that, you don't want to use that nicheness? Exactly. Yeah, that's true. But that's my point. I feel like that's what they should lean into, is that whole... It's a pet mob. It doesn't need a use specifically. It can have a little bit of one. Hello, regular. Have you seen sniffers? I mean, they're kind of cuddly looking. Let's be real. Yep, we're make it look pretty. Yep, that works too. Hello, hello, how are ya? I hope you're doing well. But yeah, no, that's really where I go with it. Is because, I mean, they're obviously going to introduce a useless mob anyway. Make it a pet mob and just move on. I need to get down and sleep, but I cannot. Do that one. Down we go. Yes. There. Now I can sleep. Where can I sleep? Where can I sleep? Where's my bed? My bed should be right... Where is it? Other side. There we go. Anyway, but yes. Hello, hello. I see. Hello, hello. Fair enough. That's true. They would be extreme. I mean... That's fine. Just put up with my coughing because I have been having some issues. I mean, at this point, I think it's just allergies and asthma, but it's allergies and asthma. It's not the best. Mo, I don't think I'm sick anymore. I do think I started getting sick, but I managed to catch it in time for the most part. But unfortunately, that also means that I'm my allergies were already bad, and I do have asthma, so it's not pleasant, but it's a thing, and I have my drink that helps. With it, that may or may not be alcohol, like in nature, but it helps. It really does help with the coughing. It's a hard Mountain Dew. It has vodka in it, or something in it. I think it's vodka. It tastes like it. Whatever it is in it helps. Oh, you know, I'm taking my vitamin C, my zinc, and my everything. I'm gonna assure you. This is just for my throat. It helps. Because I don't want my throat to get all scratchy, because then I'll never, I mean, it already was kind of, but if I let it get scratchy, I'm just never going to recover, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Yep, it's something. It's, I don't know if it's actually vodka. It could be something else. It tastes like it, though. All I know is it's definitely a hard. It's got, like, some form of alcohol. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure. Because it doesn't specify. It could be something else. It could be beer, too, but... Ah, it's beer. Cool. That's even better. But it tastes good. You need to take zinc. It's good to take, like, elderberry as well. I've got cough drops of various types. Yes. I also have a limeade here that I made with honey. It's a little sour. It says it's beer. But, you know, I mean, it is. I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna be honest, honey actually helps make the throat not hurt as much as well. That's why I have limeade with honey. And for my asthma, I have coffee. Which might sound ridiculous, but in this house, it does work pretty well, so. You know, gotta go with it. Yeah. But no, I'm making sure to take my vitamin C's and stuff. My vitamins, my everything. Getting plenty of rest. Like, try to get protein and stuff from eggs and stuff too. It's good to work on it. Alright, I did get this. It's just not absolutely perfect. Like, I'm not good, like, I'm not 100%. I know I'm not. That's where. I'm fine. Like I said, I am using honey. We've got a pretty good... Yep. I am sleeping. Anyway. Yes, sleep is actually very good for, if you're gonna get... If you don't want to get sick, kind of thing. There we go. Do I have any more? I do have some more walls. So this is going to be just like this. I coughed out most of the the gunk that got in my lungs. So, I mean, I'm mostly fine now. Actually, now that I said it out loud, it probably sounds pretty bad, but I mean, that happens to me often. Well, not often. Let me be more clear. When I get sick, it happens. Yeah, no, I'm mostly okay. I like I said, I'm mostly good. I'm just not 100%. But I'm making sure I'm doing things as well that... Yeah, at this point what I'm having to do is basically I have the fan turned off at this point. Yeah, the fan has been turned off and instead the AC's been turned on. Because little sis hasn't been having the same issues with the stuff. And basically I had to turn the AC on. Possibly the AC. We basically had to adjust the room to remove the high-pitched whine. Or it could have been the fan. As well. As I've mentioned, I had to have that on the background, but basically we just turned the AC down for my stream. And that seems to be doing what it needed to do to keep it functional and not overheating, because the whole room was getting too hot. Because unlike little sis, who streams in the middle of the day, I stream at night when it's cooler and therefore the AC doesn't turn on. So we decided to try and see if I turned the AC down, if I'd have the same issues, and I'm not having the issues with the fan off, so it does seem to... But basically, we don't know what, I don't know what specifically it was. It seemed like it was either the computer or it's the AC. Sure. That's obviously what's in our AC. But no, as far as I can tell, it was either the fan or the AC, and yeah. It also helps to have music on, because it definitely helps to mask it. Anything else that's left. No, I do get that. That's like I was... Yes. Yeah, we do live in Florida. The problem is, like I said, at night it actually cools off some, so then the AC doesn't turn on. But because this room gets super overheated when the AC's not on, and the computer is on, it basically was causing issues. And we only even decided to try it because, well, like I said, little sis wasn't having the same issues as I was, and I was having to try to keep turning it higher and higher. So, nice. But, yeah, no. Like I said, I am just making sure I'm having a little bit of everything to keep my stuff in check. And we literally had to rearrange the room around the idea of it working. Cats. Oh, my good kitties. Although you're not really my cat, although she sleeps on my bed when I'm not paying attention. It's like, not my cat, my brother's cat. But she still believes my bed is her property. I mean, they're cats, I know that, but it's like... But I do find it a little funny. I'll be honest, I should just kill these guys. I don't know why I haven't. Yes, well, yeah, that probably is it. And obviously, my sister's cat and Mom's cat. Although Mom swears it's not her cat. But, yeah. Hello, Lysana. But, yeah. Mitsuno would probably love to sleep on my bed, but he cannot sleep up here. Maybe I'll set up, like, a place down below to sleep on, and I'll take Suna down. And then we can sleep there. And let him sleep and give me gifts. But, yeah, no, it's probably because this time of year especially, and during the winter, I'll turn on my bed and then I just won't remember to turn it off because it'll be cold. And then they enjoy being all warm and cozy because they get cold fast. Also, despite everything, they have a fear of the dark. Let's be honest. Our cats do not like the dark as much. And in the evenings, because otherwise I won't be able to see anything in my room, I do end up having to turn on my light. And that light happens to be right next to the bed. And specifically right next to the spot that Princess up there really loves to sleep in. So, yeah. And she only really wants to sleep there at night. What, that her cats are afraid of the dark? And obviously, that's not her real name. But that's because that's my brother's cat, and I'm not allowed to put the real name in there. Oh, yeah, that's true. To be fair, our cats they were kind of born with some eyesight issues beyond what normal cats would have. Let's be clear. To the point that we've wondered. Oh, it's not even really that. Think of it like this. Remember how I mentioned that our cats all ended up with a bunch of health issues? Haha. What I was going to say is, remember that our cats had a bunch of health issues? I've mentioned that, right? Because of the nature in which their mama ended up being pregnant with them. And all that. And giving birth to them. It certainly seems to be that their night vision was greatly affected. Although, yeah. Yeah, basically though, one of the things that did seem to get affected was their night vision, I would say. So they don't like being in the dark because they can't see at all. Yeah. Although at the same time, they seem to be more aware of color. So, you know, I guess they got that instead. Like, little Princess up there has a love of pink. Like, absolutely. And it's not like, oh, she likes the smell. It's like, no. Because remember, she's my brother's cat. And he doesn't really like pink, so it's not... And I don't really wear pink either. And, neither does my sister. So, why Princess likes pink? Nobody knows. She just does. No. More like the cherry wood pink. Like, that pink. This pink is acceptable too. No, like I said, no, not really any pink. My room is purple. With black vines. Hand painted on. By me. And, a bunch of just anime merch. So yeah, no pink. I'm trying to think, like, no, I don't really have any pictures of my wall, but I did paint it myself, yeah. Fair enough, on the knowing if the cats can see or not. But, nah, I don't really have any pictures of my wall, mostly because I don't, I mean, it is still mostly, I still like to keep my room kind of private, but, yeah, no, it's just, sure. After I move, I'll take a picture before I move, and then I'll put it up, maybe, at some point. because it is kind of specific. Like, it's a very deep shade of purple. To the point it'd be like, why do you put that on your wall? It's like, because I like it. Plus, I have a lot of art in my wall that I have signed with my real name. Because it was my art for my room. No, I'm not planning on moving anytime soon. I'm just saying, whenever that happens, maybe. But like I said, I have art on my wall that I painted, and because it was before I was thinking of doing anything like streaming or anything, I just put my actual name on it. In fact, there's several pieces in the house that are mine. Throughout the house. Not too many, but a few. And no, I'm not planning on moving yet. Yeah, it is a hassle. But, I mean, maybe someday. Someday. I might do it. But yeah, no. I just saw the purple color and I fell in love. But the real point is there's not really any pink in my room. Like, not even like sheets or anything. There's like maybe a few. No, it's fine. Totally fine. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying is when I do, I'll do that. Oh, I don't have any pictures of me. Are you kidding? I'm not much of a photo taker. But yeah, I would probably, yeah, when I do, if one day, someday, move, someday, I'll take a picture, at least of like one wall. No, I figured that out when I read it more, but yes, picture of like me as me, yes. But honestly, like stylistically, the vines, although they're not this color, the internet's more the issue. But I was going to say is, although it's not these colors, it's more like this, stylistically. These. It's my style, if you will. I've been doing that for about, but it's like, it's not so much the farm itself as much as the internet. We're not going to get anything more high speed than the current. So yeah. At some point I'll probably have to. But yeah, no, I have no problem with someday. At that point, probably. But, also, I mean, the art used to be on my well, it's not even about, like, high speed. I feel like think of it like this. The latency is again, when we talk to somebody about, like, we talked to the internet company because we were having other issues, they were in shock that I could stream, and that little sis could too. Yeah. Think of it like this. Basically, if we were to do the internet that is the more traditional internet, it would effectively be like, it would not be good. But no, it's fine. And honestly, like, there's nothing too fascinating about it. I'm gonna be honest, there's nothing too fascinating other than the color. And the amount of posters for manga and anime. Mostly KHR. I definitely have a lot of that. On my, my walls. Katekyo Hitonen Reborn. Basically, the anime that the main character, I named my cat after the main character. Because I'm a otaku. Yeah, it is my favorite. I'm just saying I have like a whole bunch of posters on my walls of that and a few others. Like, I guess I have some bleach. I have a few bleach things, and I'm trying to think, what do I have? A few other things, like I found at like different conventions. Like convention. Here's what I will say. I don't recommend the anime specifically. I feel the anime is like the anime is okay, but it's one of those series that anime wise is just kind of, they basically made it more gag heavy, if you will. It was already pretty gag heavy, right? Because it was a gag series, but then it's like it leans more into that and less into like the darker tones the manga had. In fact, cutting out whole bits of some pretty dark stuff, which was interesting, like storyline wise and stuff. But I do still technically recommend. I would recommend it as a series. I just don't recommend it as an anime. Sadly, I wish I could. Like, it's a great series. It's just not really anime-rific. No. The anime is not the dark. The manga's the dark setting. The darker setting. It's more along the lines of there's several things that are just kind of important to the whole series. And several things that are like just left that are important overall that kind of get cut. For example, one of... yeah. Probably. But basically, I don't know. It lost its substance. The anime has not got the substance the manga has. And it is a silly gag series overall at the beginning. So it's one of those ones where you gotta... But it has some enjoyable, deeper, like, definitely darker tones to it as well. Just, like... I mean, after all, it is a... So which anime are you talking about? Such manga are you talking about, Knight? By the way. Curious. I read a lot. But yeah, I would say if you're gonna do it, it's like read. That is true. But like one of the big things with the manga to the anime is one of the main characters has a how do I put this? They are was it the Rosario vampire or whatever? Or Karin? Or there's several, so that's fair. But yeah, no. Basically, this character is, well, which one, Karin or the Rosario, whatever vampire one, Vampire Knight or whatever as well. Or the Rosario. I think it's the. Oh yeah, I thought so. Just because I know that's not exactly the name, but that does seem like that's probably the one. Because I know it did get super fan servicey. Didn't say you had to like Vampire Knight. I think Vampire Knight's Prefer Karin. Although, it had a decent ending too. Karin, I mean. But no, basically, one of the characters definitely has depression in the manga. And even attempts to game end themselves, if you will. Or at least tries. Basically, he doesn't succeed, but that is a plot. That's like chapter 4. In Katekyo Hitman Reborn? In the manga specifically. And the anime completely cuts that out. Except for whenever they're super concerned about him. And it doesn't really give any explanation as to why. It's just like, so why would he be worried about specifically this kind of thing? Or why would they be specifically so worried about it? Like to the point of they're like, are you sure you're okay? Are you really sure? Kind of thing. Whereas in the manga, you know that it's because they know that if he falls off the deep end, he might not make it. If you will. So that is like a kind of important plot point to the character. That they didn't add. Because, you know, they're like, it's a gag series. It's for kids. And it's like, In fact, several characters actually, like in the manga, they at least are shown some. They're not the happiest of individuals, if you will. Always. There's even like one thing that there's forced them to really kind of show their true thoughts. Yeah, that's true. Point being, it was like story-wise, it was kind of important because it was just like, but the manga, it is because they do show serious concern for him on multiple occasions. That just it doesn't, or he's like, no, I am fine. Mostly because, in all honesty, it kind of implies he just didn't like baseball. He thought he did. But, the point being is it was just like this kind of thing there where it just, and later it actually leans into that because it turned into an action series, or action, style series instead. But, like, as I've said, it's not for everybody, honestly. I don't think it is. I do recommend it, but I only recommend the manga for most people, unless they've read the manga first. Then maybe the anime. But it was literally like, I went in, I went to go watch the anime because I was like feeling nostalgic. I'm like, I guess it was just the nostalgia, like, making me think the series is so good. And then I went and read the manga, I'm like, oh wait, no, it was just that the anime was not what, the anime I did, it was, no. And heck, they got all kinds of things out of the anime that kind of... There's whole characters that just never show up. I mean, they might be considered cringy characters, but for Pete's sake, they were kind of important to the plot. And then there's whole things that don't make sense. Because they're not in the plot. And they even had to go back and do more of the gag section, if you will. That's true. That is a very rare thing where the anime is better than the manga. And honestly, or even as good as, that's where I'd really go with. Like, I think... I wouldn't even mind, like... I wouldn't even, like, I honestly would go with, at the very least, like, aim for the same level of quality kind of thing. Like, if they had added something else, potentially, that could help make up for that or whatever, or... I'm gonna go here. Simply cut out, that part, if you will. I mean, if they're gonna cut it out, I feel like they should have left it out completely. In that case, and then it wouldn't be as bad. It'd still be kind of bad, but it wouldn't feel wrong, if you will. It wouldn't feel like it was, well, because it was like minor things overall, in theory, but basically, like, of the many things they cut out because they clearly decided it was so cringy, right? No, this character won't show up again. They had to go back and completely put that back in for one of these characters because it turned out this character was a super important character later on. I don't know. I don't know if I'm controversial or not. I'm just going there because I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's important to think about. Like, I'm saying, like, I think it would have been fine if, other than the fact that they really and truly did actually cut out whole, like characters that. The controversial take is that I think the anime would have still been okay even with those things being removed if they had simply fully removed them. Because I feel like most people would be like, no, but it's like, in this case, I'm going, it makes it, yeah, sure. But if they're going to remove it, is what I mean, they might as well just fully remove it, because otherwise it makes other things just not make sense. Like, they were cut out Naito. Naito was a cringy character, but, like, he was kind of important. There was a few things, but they never mentioned him later, so it didn't matter in the same way. So, if they hadn't continued to put in the whole, are you sure you're okay kind of thing, I don't think it would have been as frustrating. When it's like, it's there and it's like, you go back and you're like, well, I know why. Yeah, I believe it. There's light level series. I mean, honestly, I do believe it. Like, there was it's an isekai series that I was reading. I started reading more recently. I think I've mentioned it before, but basically the manga's okay, but then you read the light novel and you're like, so why did they cut this stuff out of the manga? Oh yeah, because it's internal blah blah blah. It's very much about the whole idea that the first arc is more like the guy is alone. He's not got anybody else there. The internal monologues are kind of important to that series. Not KHR, the isekai series, I mean. And it's like, if it was to ever get an anime, I mean, I guarantee that they'll cut that even more, even though it's... Yeah, see, that's just it. I have found a lot of the time, like, especially once it gets to the anime, and people are like, why the heck did this get an anime? And it's like, well, because the light novel, which is the best form, was actually decent. But the problem is they cut out more and more internal dialogue, which is important because this is what makes the character actually a character instead of, oh no, I don't disagree on the internal. But my point is, it's like, one of the big focuses is this is how you start knowing about this character. Like, he's not just a cookie cutter kind of thing. It's not a cookie cutter wish fulfillment character. The character will have all sorts of internal, like, back and forth and the like, which lets you learn more about the personality and everything. But then once that's cut out more and more, No, I mean, I've read series like that, certainly. But, like I said, I feel like it really is. It's like, a series can be amazing, and then, yeah. It honestly does kind of... It can be frustrating when it's like, but if they show the internal dialogue this guy's having, where he's either concerned or da-da-da-da, because, you know, the guy's not perfect, concerns and the like, I mean, it would be much better And it wouldn't be as like, well, the guy is obviously just a cookie cutter character who has, like, just for wish. Yeah, no. And honestly, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I always get so worried whenever a series that I enjoy that's an isekai is going to get an anime, especially. Manga, there's still a chance. But, like, once it hits anime, it's like, no, the anime's just gonna, like, completely destroy it. Heck, here's a controversial opinion. I personally think, let me go here with SAO, the light novel, isn't bad. And he doesn't just feel as cookie cutter in the same way, Kirito, I mean. Ironically, again, because you have all these internal dialogues, because when he's on his own, he's not, like, talking to other people. And it was very interesting. Because, you know, they really didn't lean into the whole Kirito tried to off himself, but he was too scared to, so he kept entering dungeons. That's part of why he ended up strong, because, well, he ended up fighting, and cause he's like, I'm going to die in battle because I can't really bring myself to kill myself. Or end myself, rather. So it was interesting, and it kind of made sense. Dark, but made sense. And then it's like the anime, they kind of show that, but they really don't lean into that. Just how many months apparently that was before Christmas. Which was dark, but it was interesting. And yeah, I honestly, I'm going to go there. Like the Aincrad arc, he had a personality in the light novel. And again, yeah. No, I do agree. It is way more controversial, and it's not really an isekai. It's more of a stuck in the game. It's stuck in the game kind of thing. I mean, it has isekai elements certainly, especially from later, like afterward, when people were inspired by it. But honestly, it isn't. It doesn't lean into that as much. And like I said, I actually personally thought that it was decent. Well, actually at that point it kind of was not first, because it's just the first that got an anime. No, I do agree. That's what I was saying, it is still technically isekai-ish, but it's not really an isekai. That's what I was saying. But I mean, I do agree. I think, honestly, also when you look at the fact that he only ever intended to write one volume, it makes sense, ironically. Not ironically, because it isn't really ironic. It's the sad reality. The first volume, like, he even talks about in that it was just, like, decided to do the one volume, da-da-da-da, and then people wanted more. So he wrote the second book of short stories, which then the anime turned into, yeah, the author, yeah. I mean the author. I thought it talks about in some of the author's notes and stuff. It's very interesting. But basically, the second book was just a bunch of short stories to be like, yeah, here's some more things. That's true. Not as true with the Shonen Shonen, but basically, yeah. Well, the games beyond that, that's got its own, that's its own thing, that's a problem. But basically, for the Aincrad arc, that one specifically, for some of the arcs, it's like, well, this doesn't feel like it's because it was a side story introduced after the main story. So, it's also why it's much shorter. And then it continued because people wanted a continuation. But yeah, no, with the Aincrad arc specifically, interestingly enough, and I thought this was interesting, and it is that case in the case with the like, for example, I guess I don't remember what the group was called, but when he joined the one group that they all die, right? That he basically goes on a whole crusade to try and get himself offed, if you will, because he's he feels like he did get them killed. He feels like he killed them. But basically, in the storyline, it's him telling the story to Asuna, which is why it feels like it should have been from another point of view. It's because it was a story. It wasn't a story. It was just like clearly him talking about it in the light novel. Right before, basically, he's going on with the one fight, because he's basically explained to her why he hates guilds so much. And there's no basically, that's why. He's explaining why he doesn't join guilds. And that it was that incident that heavily traumatized him. But, yeah. In the anime, it does that before that point. It doesn't go back and have him explaining the story, because this is why he doesn't like joining guilds. Kind of thing. It's just there as an arc, as a storyline. So things like that are kind of why the first season does feel a little all over the place. Because technically the Asuna Kirito stuff was pretty much all of Volume 1, and then everything else is Volume 2. And I'm going to go here. I feel like if a light novel is going to get adapted, they need to do, like, really 4 volumes for a season. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is true. But they don't explain it in the anime. They just make it that happened, but then they don't really have him explain it, remember? To her that's why he doesn't join a guild. He just... You're supposed to infer that in the anime, that obviously that was what it was. Whereas in the light novels, he really is just going, this is what happened. It's darker. It's not the most original thing, honestly, but I do think it... That's true. Exactly. Well, probably. But like I said, I think everything after that point, no, that's just that although even then, light novels can still... And I mean, I've heard that the progressive is that when they did that, it was pretty bad too. And I was like, but it was actually quite decent, the light novels. Although it's still not quite MMO-esque enough, I would argue. But it still feels more. Progressive was going back and rewriting Aincrad, floor by floor, progressively. Is the idea. And it is pretty decent with the light novels. Although it heavily leans into the idea that... Hey, I like Log Horizon. I'm gonna be honest. I do wish that the the light novels continued, but the guy did... he has not written in a long time. But I do agree, it was good. I have all of the actually officially released volumes on my shelf. But no, I honestly like that one better overall than SAO. I just also liked SAO. And one of the things I'll say the anime got right is they left in all the monologues. All of them, even though that makes a lot of people annoyed. But it's like... I was actually pretty, like, especially like going through the light novel, I'm like, I'm glad that they actually did leave those things in and it doesn't just feel messy. Unlike other series. It does. It definitely needs the monologues. It's important to... I do agree. It is definitely a... Oh, I don't need this. Well, I mean, that's the thing with a lot of... And that one, actually, I would argue is isekai, so, you know. Because there's no VR, there's no nothing. They just wake up in the game world. Although, I mean, I do prefer this... It is interesting that they kind of just streamlined the first little bit. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I do agree. Like if they cut out too much and then they cut out too quickly, it can be very frustrating. Yeah. And then it's just like, but you didn't need to do that. You could have just taken your time with the arcs before now, kind of feeling. But yeah, yeah, that can be a problem, a frustrating one. But yeah, no, like I said though, overall with the Log Horizon, I think the anime did do it well when I watched it. Because, I mean, while it did streamline a little bit, it wasn't things that were too... They were minor things, like, instead of explaining that the reason they're calling out their attacks is because they realized they could make a shortcut via that way, rather than they just lean into that instead, where it's... They're already doing that effectively, a little bit, and figuring it out. I think that was fine with Log Horizon. It made some sense that they're not going to all be exact. But, yeah. I mean, I've read a few series like that. Or, if it... I'm gonna be honest, I think the ones that I enjoy when they do the he gets everything handed to him is when it's after the whole story and it's just like after that fact, like you just get the whole yeah, that's true. I would probably agree. What I was gonna say is with the Murim Dao style genre, I do agree that they they definitely do go to the overpowered more often than not. But, if they're gonna do that, I honestly enjoy the ones where it's like, rather than it's just focusing on him getting stronger after having everything handed to him, making him OP, just instead of just leaning into the, and this is after the story is done, and, you know, he's moved forward with his life after this point. And now stupid new problems are happening. I enjoy those, just because it's like, they can be so dorky. I mean, I don't like... But I think that's like the only times where it really works to have the main character end up being like super OP. It's just like... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do agree. One Punch Man, yep, that definitely is one that's kind of like that. But, I mean, I don't mind, like, the struggle kind of thing. I'm gonna go there. I enjoy those too. I like the goofily overpowered, or they have no idea they're overpowered. Because, like, the isekai I mentioned earlier, technically the main character could be considered overpowered. But he doesn't think he is, because he basically... It's a whole class gets reincarnated one, but basically because he ended up coming in late. Yeah. That's true. Basically, the main character comes in late, and he basically gets the leftover trash nobody else wanted, and then turns out those abilities weren't as trashes. Together. If he only used like one or two of them, then he would be. But he basically argued, since I'm only getting the trash, I should get all of it. Kind of thing. At the same time, though, he has a lot of other issues. Well, I mean, it's not really serious. But at the same time, I mean, the main character, he has issues. Like, he can't remember anybody's names anymore. Whether he could before or not, uncertain, but at this point, the guy doesn't, definitely. Like, legit, it's like somebody will tell him their name, and then he'll hear it, and then he won't remember it. Which is kind of implied to be part of the abilities, like one of the abilities that's like the downside, potentially, that he gains. So it's actually an interesting series overall. And it has the funny ha-has and the not so funny ha-has. It works well as a series, and I enjoy it. And like I said, I hope it never... Well, Oh. Yeah, that's true. It would make it more serious if it is the guy is a sledgehammer. That's true. I mean, that's why Superman worked. The guy is. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that definitely sounds like an interesting one. And yeah, I mean, I've definitely read the same thing with like a fantasy-esque style one. Where the main character, yeah, he just wants to be a farmer. Yeah. Different one, because this is an isekai, not a martial artsy one. But then basically the dude, he maxes all his abilities for farming. He becomes overpowered, but he doesn't want it. He just wants to farm. It's like, leave me alone. Sure. Let's hear the series, Dave. I might have read it. A little bit, potentially. Or, like, I'm not saying, like, a lot, but I'm saying I definitely am. It's the kind of thing I get distracted from. Like, I like me some Tower style series, I'm gonna be honest. And I know those main characters end up... Ah, got it. So yeah, Knight was saying, yeah, okay. Fair enough. If I had a manga, I would have probably read it. I'm gonna go there. But yeah. I'll try to remember it if I ever come across, or I decide to go read something else. But no, I honestly, I get more into the whole... I know! So do most light novels. I believe that. I read my light novels. I just... Honestly, some of them I don't really get... Ironically, you know, here's an anime I found better than the light novel, actually, was the spider one, So I'm a Spider Now, So What? I enjoyed the anime, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go read the light novel / web novel, and then I was like, this is okay at first, but then it just really gets into the whole... It's like... Okay. And it kind of... I got lost. I kind of lost it... Lost interest pretty quickly. No, I get it. I do get that. I mean... Heck, there's like the one series, I Just Want to Die, or whatever it's called, where the guy's just... I mean, I don't think he's overpowered in that one, but... Or that one. Although, it's more of an ecchi series, the one I just mentioned. Yeah, I think the title's like, I Just Want to Die, or whatever. But... Yeah. Normal dude. He just wants to get to his next incarnation. Where he's powerful. Ain't happening. But no, I do... No, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I don't always... Like, if I'm gonna go for a power fantasy one with the whole martial artsy stuff, like I said, I'm gonna go for a tower-based one just because they can be dorky and fun. Or just random dungeons appear or whatever. Cause like I enjoy that kind of thing. Cause it can it can be fun. Like if it's a tower one, I kind of feel like that to some extent those tend to be, I don't know, like the OP-ness. It's like that there's just some sort of possibly series that I have enjoyed in the past that are more along those lines. I mean, but I've enjoyed a wide variety. I mean, like, I enjoy Re:Zero. where his OP ability was a curse, and is a curse kind of thing. I mean, I've also enjoyed, what other series have I enjoyed? Like, I don't just go for OP-ness. I feel like I need to be specific. I just enjoy that with a tower mix. Mostly because then he's not overpowered by, like, chapter E. Or it's like, well, if the character wasn't overpowered, then the series would be over pretty quickly. Those are the kinds of things I kind of enjoy. Also, this song bothers me. Not because it's a bad song, by the way, just because, it's too similar to, like, Undertale's music. So I keep wanting to go, like, that final stretch up, which it doesn't do. So it bugs me. Like, da 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 da. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, the fact that he, that's fine. I don't care that much here. Just because I choose not to say him, I don't mean I'm gonna make you not say them. But like, when I just meant I kind of enjoyed the beginning. I have enjoyed the light novels a little bit more than the anime / manga. Mostly because, I don't know. Again, you really do lean more into the whole. Like, you would think that with ReZero, it's like, yeah, it's got all the it's not got all the monologues. But that's fine. That's fine. But no, I've read ReZero. I at least enjoyed it for a while. I'll be honest though, it's not one that I specifically went for. I'm just saying he was a pathetic character. But if I'm gonna pick a pathetic character, I'm gonna pick Kazuma from a popular series. I mean, it's technically isekai. I'm gonna pick Kazuma from Konosuba. Let's be real, or Konosubarashi. I can't remember the whole thing. Although I will pick light novel version over anime version a little bit. Because I honestly find the light novel version of him a little bit more enjoyable. Yeah, like I said, I do enjoy it because it's fun. It's stupid. It can turn your brain off. At the same time, again, light novel version, I prefer. Because, well, if there's like, they definitely lean more into the archetypes in the anime. Oh, I'm not disagreeing that you've watched a season, but that's why I again go to the whole. I don't know. I just also it gets better as it goes. It's one of those ones, I'd argue. So like just watching the first season / basically reading the first couple books. Fair, that's true. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, not that terrible. It does lean into genericness at sometimes, but I honestly, I'm not gonna say spoilers, but I kind of like how later on in the series, I'm sure you remember Eris, right? Or she shows up like twice, but the other goddess that is the more preferred one. I like that they characterize her more later on in the light novels, which I think the anime eventually got to, maybe, but not. Yes, basically they kind of lean into more of like her character later on. I'm not gonna say what in case like somebody's watching that doesn't want to like have it spoiled. But, yeah, no. They basically reveal that she's they reveal more things about her, basically. That's where I'm going to go with it. And she's definitely a much more enjoyable character, and she shows up a lot more later on. Which helps a lot. Like, the more she's in it, the better. I'm going to go just say that. I found. Uh-huh. Well, I mean... Yeah, Magic Knight Aerith is decent, too. Although, if I'm going to go with a Clamp series, I'm going to go with, Tsubasa. Reservoir Chronicle. Because I'm pretty sure Clamp... At least, it wasn't Clamp, but Clamp did do at least the manga. I think that they at least did the other, but... Or rather, a Clamp-esque, Shoujo-esque. I'm gonna lean into the whole, Yeah, I like Tsubasa. Reservoir Chronicle. Which is technically an isekai from before Sword Art Online. That did most of the same things. Which is why I say it's not really new. It's just the way it handled it was decent. Yeah. Oh, no. The manga, again, going into the manga, is definitely better than the anime. The anime, they cut out a lot. Especially after certain, like, at first it's like, it's pretty on point. But the further along you get, the more it's kind of cut, to the point that about half the series isn't in the anime, I would say. It's just like, but why? Because I did watch it. I went and watched the anime once, and I was like, I got confused. It's like the farther along it goes, it was just... I wouldn't say it was bad. Okay. Well, but yeah, that makes sense. That it was the Clamp series character. It's not really Clamp series character cameos in that way. I'm gonna go here. The whole point was it is a multiverse. That's why all the Clamp characters show up. It's not so much that it's cameos as much as it's just literally, well, you're entering iterations of their worlds. And it was enjoyable that way. And there is some implication. And if you were to be into like Xxholic, that one was just literally always connected. In the manga, not in the anime. They actually cut that out of the anime. But in the manga, they actually, like, you'd have whole things where if you would see one point of view from the Xxholic manga, or XXXholic manga, and you would see the other point of view from the Tsubasa. Which was really cool. Because both series were going on at the same time, I believe. That's true. I mean, yes. Well, they had other cheat too, but that was basically, it was because that was that multiverse's version of the character. Or that universe's. So, I mean, that is fair, but yes. You had iterations of characters that... But the whole point was it was because it's that world. It's why you see, multiple times you'll see somebody, like... the friend from Cardcaptor Sakura, I can never remember her name. But she shows up, like, 6 different times. In fact, the only characters who don't typically show up are our main characters overall. Other than that, though, that you typically get several iterations of the same person. Which is interesting because they'll have met a different version of that character and they'll be like, oh, hey, and they'll have to remember that it's not the same person. which made it work well as a series. I think, but like I said, I think one of the biggest things though was the whole fact that XXholic was super important to the again, it's one of those ones where I don't know if I recommend the anime. Not because the anime was bad. The anime was good. Okay? I'm not saying that. But because basically the anime, after the 2 specials they did to just do like the 2 arcs, they cut it off there, and it's like, but there's so much more. Fair enough. That is fair. All I'm saying is it's like they it's not the whole series. It's like half the series. And then beyond that, there's the whole thing where, like I said, the manga, not the anime, but the manga, makes it extremely clear it's the same world as, or rather, it's not the same world, but it's definitely the same universe as. There's interactions between that and the XXholic, which it was cool in the manga because it was like both series were going on at the same time, so. It was cool to have those interactions, and then the anime doesn't have them because they were different studios, I believe, and at different times when they got the anime. So there's just scenes that are kind of not leaned into as much. So in the manga, they'll have been, they call on the witch, right? That's how they get around, is with the witch of dimensions. She helps them at first. But because the Witch of Dimensions is the same Witch of Dimensions in XXholic, you also get little bits of Watanuki here and there, hanging out, doing stuff, working in that scene as well. And then you also have, they'll call on her to ask her for something, and he will be in the background because, well, he's working for her as a part-timer. But that's where I say those types of things. They don't have to be in the anime, but it's like, it is worth it. Plus, it's part of the reason they didn't finish the anime, I think. That's fair. I'm not saying you have to follow. I'm just saying that literally, like, main character, and it then turns out that it was actually very important that they were, that the 2 series were connected and all that, but, and it's fine, but the point is, really, that overall, part of why the anime couldn't finish is because they had cut that, I would say, because it kind of was very, very important. No, I know. It wouldn't have ever been in the anime anyway, because they finished the anime on a cliffhanger, no less. Woo. Long before the manga was done. That's why I feel comfortable even saying that. It's just like, it was sad. Like, I was so excited to watch it too, like when I went and watched, because I found that my library had the whole series on DVD, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this. I love the manga. And then, yeah, it just turned out to not be a full series. And it was, it definitely was disappointing, to say the least. True. Yeah, that is true. It is sad that they don't let that happen anymore, but I mean, to be fair to Twitch, there were people abusing the system. Definitely. Still do. So, as much as it frustrates me, I'm not gonna, like, blame them for it. I mean, I could blame Twitch. I know a lot of people would, but it's like choosing to ignore it. Yep, it was. That is true. It was just piracy. And enough people were doing it where they just kind of, yep, exactly. So like I said, I don't blame them. I blame the people who decided it was a great way to have effectively free content and told everybody else to do the same, basically. I blame them, honestly. Because, I mean, it wouldn't be brought to the attention of the people who would get annoyed legally. Especially, like, and even then, it's like if it was a minor, talking over it, I think is fine. It's like going, I love this part, blah, blah, blah. But then, just sitting there, not even being in the room. That's where I go, yeah, it was understandable. It's sad. But, I mean, what could they really do at that point? They couldn't just continue turning a blind eye. As long as they wanted to keep their service up and running. Yep. Exactly. Like, it's where I don't... I definitely do feel iffy about that kind of thing. And, I mean, it is iffy. Yep. And that's really where I go to it with it. It was an iffy thing. And I could understand. Welcome back. But yeah, no, I can understand. Oh, I do need to finish. I got distracted, but like I said, I can. Yeah, you can still kind of do, but not really in the same way, and definitely not on Twitch. Twitch does not like it. Fair enough. Yeah, I know. I have had plenty of people go that, but I'm like, I don't. It still feels iffy because it's like, it goes right back to that whole Yeah. Well, I'm just saying it feels, even with just doing it through Discord, it does feel iffy. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm gonna ignore those guys a minute and then just get this guy down here. I heard a drowned. 2 drowns! And one of them dropped copper! Crazy. Oh, and apparently I have gathered all the rotten flesh I can. But, yeah, yeah, that's true. But, like I said, I do feel it is an iffy thing, honestly. That's the real answer. It's the same reason why, unless, like, the game is not available, I don't want to just... Or if I own the game, I don't want to use an emulator, because it feels kind of... It's the same kind of, like... I know there's people who don't agree with that, but for me, it's just like... If I have another way to get the game, then... I mean... It just... Yeah. I'll just not play the game. That's true. And they'll still go after you. I mean, if you... But yeah, no. Honestly, to me, I do feel like, to me at least, things like game emulation or pirating a show, I just don't have to watch the show if I don't agree with the company. No, that's what I'm saying. Is if I have, like, if I own a copy of the game, I feel less iffy about it, because it's like, yeah, I do own the game. That's what I meant. But But it's more along the lines of like, if I can get the game and I don't own it. Yeah, I don't have an Amazon account, honestly. So it wouldn't happen because the streamer themselves not having one is I think the most iffiness. I don't. Amazon does not. I mean, that's fine. But like I said, to me, I'm just like, I don't need it that much. If I don't like the companies, the way they do things or whatever, then I'm just not going to play the game or watch the show or whatever. In that way. And I think that's perfectly fair. Sure, it might mean... Exactly. It is much safer to do that. In which case, I mean, I think that's fair. Heck, I mean, we've definitely at our household ripped CDs before, but typically it's something that we either own something else from that group, but the specific item was no longer available, or in the case of like the last story, I may or may not have gotten the music for that one off the one at the library. But that was because I was supposed to get the copy with all the stuff, and then they didn't send it. They did not send the music or anything, but I own the copy it's supposed to go with. You can even see where it was supposed to go, kind of thing. So it's like, in that case, yeah, I do feel okay with that. But it's because I actually paid full price for the everything, and then it's just like, nope, you can't have that. But like that, those are the only cases where I really do end up typically. Otherwise, I don't really need it. And that's the real answer. Anyway, let me quickly just say, it's been a pleasure having you. I hope to see you again tomorrow for some more Minecraft fun, as we'll be doing some more of our Bedrock challenge. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that you have, like, I really do hope you have a wonderful day. Hopefully I will be able to stream. I won't have issues. I don't think I will, but here's to hoping and praying. But like I said, thank you for popping in. Thank you for sticking around, and yeah, have a great day. Bye.